Welcome to World History Notes, where read from the book I wrote to teach homeschoolers world history. It's a survey called A Bible Believer Looks at World History, and the title tells you the perspective it's from. I hope that you'll listen and then study things that interest you that I mentioned, and I just want you to be conversant in world history. I don't expect you to agree with me. Um, just want to bring these points out. We're talking about the rise of fascism in the early 20th century. And you can purchase my book, Bible Believer Looks at World History, on lulu.com, amazon.com, at the Bible Baptist Bookstore, or just follow me here. And if you ever mind, please subscribe to my channel. Okay, now Italy had been on the side of the Allies, which fought the Central Powers during World War One. In 1919, after the war, Benito Mussolini, an injured veteran of several months of trench warfare, formed the Italian Combat Squad, and squads of armed veterans called Black Shirts formed the core of this fascist organization. Now, fascism is a political ideology under which the personal liberty of the citizen is subordinate to the demands of the state, the party, or society in general. It calls for a strong leader who is followed without question and has dictatorial powers, or at least that's the way it winds up. One of the concerns of the father of the American Constitution, James Madison, was that war might destroy the republic because war tended to increase the power of the chief executive, the president, and therefore might make him a dictator. Communism, on the other hand, excuse me, as outlined by Karl Marx and Lenin, has never existed as a nation state's government in reality. It would be a classless society where everything was owned in common and each person was provided for according to his needs. What we have, so communist countries has, in all actuality, has been a socialist, a step on the way to communism, according to Marx. Socialism is another socioeconomic system whereby distribution of private property is controlled by the state. It's very difficult to differentiate between modern nations that are fascist, which can be a type of socialism, from a so-called, quote, free country, such as the United States, which is now far more of a socialist country and in no way resembles the country at its beginnings. Things tend to run together in the modern world, so there's a lot of gray areas in between. The purpose of the Black Shirts was to terrorize socialists, anarchists, and communists in Italy after World War I. The government turned a blind eye to their growing power. Within 2 years, the National Fascist Party was formed with Mussolini at its head, who was elected to the Chamber of Deputies, the lower house of the Italian parliament. In 1922, the party made its march on Rome, and the reigning government was undermined by the Italian king's recognition of Mussolini as prime minister. Mussolini's stated purpose was a totalitarian state with himself as the head, which he accomplished in the first days of 1925. He created a police state and outlawed all opposing political parties by 1928. As once a fascist state controls the minds of the people by propaganda and fake news, it must seek outside victims. Mussolini set up a puppet regime in Albania and increased the Italian presence in Libya, bombed Corfu, a Greek island, and set up a navy base on another Greek island. In 1935, he would invade Ethiopia. His dream was to reinstate the Roman Empire, thinking of himself as a Caesar type of thing. In any event, we're going to talk about the Versailles Treaty and how that led to fascism next. And I hope that you'll study world history, follow me. You don't have to agree with what I say, but hope that these things that I mentioned will spur you on to do some digging and make yourself an expert on something. Because this is just a survey, just cruising the surface here. All right, thank you. Have a good day.